Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. My name is Royce, Mr. Roar. I've got a brand new game idea for everybody out there. Last year I came up with a snowball fight type game. This one I've got an even better one. This is especially true for you miniature fans out there. So let's go ahead and we'll jump right into it. I'll start explaining the rules and show you how it is. Here's the battlefield all set up and ready to play. Let me explain to you a couple of things you're going to need. First of all, you're going to need your miniature characters. These are going to represent the people who are throwing the snowballs. I was able to get these people from the dollar store. They came 3 to a pack and they're very affordable. See, they have different looks, different styles, and all that. Also, it's going to be best to get some kind of a terrain. Now, you don't need terrain, but it's best to get some. I was able to find these little houses and stuff for $1 as well. Now, this is going to represent ice. Now, it's just simple paper. It's blue paper. You could find regular white paper if you want to. Whatever you want to do, I just cut it up in that little design. You're also going to need a 2 foot by 2 foot area in order to play the game. You're also going to need some kind of way, some kind of token, some kind of way of knowing which character just moved and all that. For this case, I'm going to be using poker chips, green and red. Very traditional for me. It's Christmas colors. But you can use anything you want. Pennies, gift tags, anything like that that you'd really like to use. You're also going to need to use dice. You're going to need at least 2 with 1 additional die. It's going to represent a charcoal or a coal snowball, which is going to let you roll an extra die. I'll explain later. Now, you don't have to use a black die. You can even use something like a yellow die. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that yellow die represents. I'll just leave that one up to imagination. And lastly, you're going to need a Christmas card. Let's go into gameplay. Now, before you start the game, you want to decide on some kind of a battlefield, some kind of a playing ground that you want to use. To start the game, each player is going to roll a dice. Player 1 rolls this. They rolled an 8. Player 2 rolled a 4. So player 1 is going to get to start the game and place all their characters first. Now, when placing your characters, you choose which side of the battlefield you want to take. In a 2-player game, you'd be one side on the other from each other. If it's a 4-player game or 3-player game, you can add your own variants. 1 on each side or anything like that. When placing your characters, you want to make sure they're right along the edge somewhere, no more than a thumb away from the side. Set this one here. However you want to do it is up to you. So first player sets up all their characters first, then it's the second player's turn. So checking to make sure they're about a thumb away, they start setting up their characters as well. No matter which way they're facing, you're good. Now the goal of this game is to knock out all the characters on the opponent's side. Now what happens when you knock out a character? You've thrown a snowball at them, you have successfully hit them, and they are running away back to home and they are out of the battleground. So what does the turn consist of? A turn consists of activating 2 of your characters. So how do you activate a unit? All you do is you pick one of your characters and they can move. There's 2 ways they can move. They can either move on the short side of the Christmas card or they can move on the long side of the Christmas card. If they move on the short side of the Christmas card, you just kind of do a radius anywhere around the short side of the Christmas card, and that character can move that way. Same as the long side. They can move anywhere up to that long side of the Christmas card. Now, there's one thing to remember. If you move the long side of the Christmas card, there's nothing else you can do that turn. So let's say I moved him up to here. I'm going to use one of my tokens just to show that character moved this turn. So I'm going to put him right there. And now I'm going to move a second character. Right now it's just starting the game. But let's go ahead and pretend like we have another character here. What I can do is I can take one of my other characters, move him up here. And since I moved along the short side of this, I can throw a snowball. Now what does it mean to throw a snowball? The first thing you want to do before you throw a snowball is you want to check to see if the character you want to hit is within range of the snowball you can throw. Now, since I moved shortly, I can throw anywhere within the short range of this, in which this character is within that short range of the Christmas card. Now, since I moved, I'm only going to be able to roll 1 die. If I didn't move this turn, and I just threw a snowball, I'd be able to roll 2 die. Now I'll roll 1 die, and the thing is I have to roll either a 5 or 6 in order to get that character out. Let's see what happens. So we can see that we are within this one short side of the Christmas card away, and they can be anywhere within it. If they're touching, they're within it. And I'm going to roll 1 snowball to see if I hit. In this case I rolled a 3, and I did not hit the other character. They stay out on the field. My guy stays out on the field, and it'll be the other player's turn. Let's see what they do. Now they have a character who's set up on the other side of the ice. And look at that. It's within a short side of the Christmas card away from the priest here. Now, because he did not move, he gets to throw 2 snowballs. So I'm going to get to roll 2 dice in order to hit this preacher. Now remember, 5 or 6 hits him. So I rolled 1 5 and 1 4. So I successfully hit the preacher, and the preacher goes home, and he is out of the game. And because of that, I get to give him 1 token here. So on your turn, there's basically 3 things you can do. You can move one side of the short side of the Christmas card and throw 1 snowball. If you don't move at all, you can throw 2 snowballs. Or you can move one of the long side of the Christmas card. So let's say I took the first turn and now it's my second turn. Well, I'll have one other character. I'll get to move this character out. After I move that other character, I can clear the tokens away from the 2 characters I moved last time, so they can be used for the next turn. So in other words, I'll be able to move 2 characters on a turn. I'll be able to activate 2 characters on a turn, which means I either throw a snowball, or I move and throw a snowball, or I just move into a better position. And each one of those characters will get a token. The next turn, if I have 2 characters still on the board, I'll be able to move those 2 or throw snowballs or whatever I can do, and I'll instead put those 2 tokens on those characters. Then when it's my turn again, I'll be able to use these 2 to either throw snowballs or move. Now let's talk a little bit how terrain works. So in a case like this, little Christmas tree dude here can hit this one with a snowball because he's within that short side of the Christmas card range, and he has line of sight. Line of sight pretty much means I can make a straight line from this character to that character without anything getting in the way. Now, this character will not be able to hit this character hiding behind the house. Why? Because the line of sight is blocked. You can always check line of sight from the back of the character to see if they can see the other character. In this case, they clearly cannot. So hiding behind some of these elements in these houses is really going to help you out during this game. Let's say if you need to protect yourself, or if you need to hide, or if you need to run and gun. So in this case, on your next turn, this little bugger here is going to be able to move out 1 small Christmas card away. Now he has a line of sight, and he's going to get a chance to tag this one if he wants to. So some of the strategy that you can use while playing the game. So how does the black die work, or yellow die if you have that? Anytime you want to use the black die, you can, but you must first announce it. You can announce that you are going to use the coal snowball. Now, here's the caveat for the coal snowball. If you roll a 5 or 6, you do hit. If you do not roll a 5 or 6 on the coal snowball, your character gets eliminated. So, you probably only want to use the additional die in a Hail Mary sort of a situation. Let's say I had 2 characters still in the game while they only had 1. Well, I might want to take my odds with one of my characters to roll 3 die in order to try to get that hit. So even though this one takes me out, I clearly have enough to take out their character and I win the game. So here we've got the game all set up and ready to go. You take turns activating 2 characters at a time. If you don't have a character to activate that turn, you're just out of luck. If you've lost 2 of your people and you can't use anybody else that turn, you're just out of luck. You can't move anybody or anything like that. So what do you think? Pretty simple game overall. You're taking turns hitting each other. If you're familiar with any games like Hero Clicks or anything of the sort there, you're going to be very familiar with this game here. It's relatively simple, relatively cheap. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully you can try out the game on your own time. It's a pretty simple, fun, holiday-themed miniatures game that can be set up and played within minutes. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments, and subscribe for more Roar, and ho ho ho, Merry Holidays.